When my mom got remarried, I gained a stepdad, which was fine, and I've maintained a decent relationship with him over the years. However, his son Danny, my stepbrother, is another story. To put it bluntly, he's been nothing but trouble, a real pain since day one. Thankfully, my interactions with Danny have been minimal. I've spent hardly any time with him over the past 8 years. He was mostly away at school or spending summers with his dad's family, leaving me to enjoy my time elsewhere. So when I received an invitation to Danny's wedding, my initial reaction was a firm number. I had no interest in attending, especially considering I wouldn't know anyone there except for his immediate family. When Danny's mom called to inquire about my absence, I explained that I couldn't afford the trip and simply wasn't keen on going. But then my stepdad intervened, offering to cover my expenses for the trip. He assured me that I wouldn't have to share a room or participate in any additional activities besides the wedding and reception. With that reassurance and the financial burden lifted, I reluctantly agreed to attend. However, I made it clear that I wanted to book my trip separately to ensure I had my own space and wouldn't end up sharing a room with a distant relative. My boyfriend and I managed to scrape together enough money for the trip, with him contributing $1,400 towards the expenses. I didn't mention any of this to my mom. I didn't see the need to. During the trip, we made the most of it, indulging in various excursions and, of course, attending the wedding and reception. I even went the extra mile to be part of the family pictures and participate in the festivities. My boyfriend, however, had other plans and booked a separate excursion for himself, funded by our resort bonus cash. Fast forward to a recent dinner with my mom, where she brought up the topic of the trip expenses. Apparently, my stepdad was upset that I had ignored everyone for the duration of the trip. My mom expressed her disappointment, suggesting that I had misused the money intended for family time to fund a vacation for myself and my boyfriend. In response, I reminded her of our initial agreement and the understanding that my presence was only required at the wedding and reception. I made it clear that I hadn't wanted to attend in the first place and had only relented due to my stepdad's offer and reassurances. As for my stepdad's disappointment, I can't help but feel unfairly judged, considering I followed the terms we had agreed upon. Firstly, it's important to acknowledge that attending a destination wedding can be quite an expense, especially when considering travel costs, accommodation, and other associated expenses. So, when your stepdad offered to cover the expenses for you to attend his son's wedding, it was a generous gesture on his part. However, it's also understandable that you had reservations about attending the wedding, particularly if it meant incurring significant costs. You were upfront about your concerns, and even declined the initial invitation, citing financial constraints and a lack of desire to attend. This shows that you were transparent about your intentions from the beginning. When your stepdad insisted on covering the expenses for you to attend, you understandably wanted clarification on the terms. You asked specific questions to ensure there were no misunderstandings, such as whether you'd have to share a room, whether you were expected to participate in additional events beyond the wedding and reception, and whether you could bring a plus one. These were reasonable inquiries given the circumstances. Upon receiving assurances that you would have your own room and that your attendance was only required for the wedding and reception, you accepted the offer. It's worth noting that you didn't demand anything beyond what was initially offered. You simply sought clarity on the terms and conditions. Subsequently, you and your boyfriend managed to scrape together the necessary funds to cover his expenses for the trip. This further demonstrates your commitment to ensuring that your attendance at the wedding didn't impose any additional financial burden on your stepdad or his family. During the trip, you fulfilled all your obligations as a guest, attending the wedding, participating in family photos, and engaging in the festivities at the reception. You even went above and beyond by being social and interacting with your mom and stepdad during the trip, despite your initial reluctance to attend. You absolutely did the right thing by addressing the situation with your boss and standing up against harassment in the workplace. Here's a more comprehensive perspective. Being a part of a small local business for such a long time, you've likely developed a strong sense of camaraderie with your colleagues. However, when a new coworker disrupts the harmony of the workplace with inappropriate behavior, it's crucial to take action promptly. Karen's initial gratitude for being hired swiftly turned sour as her personal struggles began to seep into the workplace dynamics. While her challenges with her husband's unemployment and the looming foreclosure of their home are undoubtedly difficult, they don't excuse her unprofessional conduct. Your innocent remark about not being a dog person should have been taken lightly, but Karen's reaction was disproportionate and unwarranted. Her subsequent behavior on social media, especially mocking your family photos, crossed a significant boundary of decency and respect. By documenting the harassment and bringing it to the attention of your boss, you demonstrated a clear stance against unacceptable behavior in the workplace. You rightfully demanded action to preserve a respectful and productive work environment for everyone. Your boss's prompt decision to terminate Karen's employment was justified given the gravity of her actions. It's unfortunate that Karen chose to shift blame onto you for her dismissal rather than reflecting on her own misconduct. Her attempt to guilt-trip you by invoking her financial struggles only highlights her lack of accountability for her behavior. Prioritizing your well-being and refusing to tolerate harassment at work is commendable. Your actions not only protected yourself but also upheld the standards of professionalism and respect that are essential in any workplace setting. Karen's behavior was completely out of line, and her reaction to a simple comment about dogs escalated into unacceptable harassment. Criticizing your children crosses a serious boundary, and her actions demonstrate a lack of professionalism and respect. Now that Karen has faced the consequences of her actions, perhaps she'll learn from this experience. However, given the severity of her behavior, it's doubtful that she'll recognize the gravity of her actions and change her ways. It's concerning and downright creepy that Karen took her workplace grievances to the internet to target you personally. This level of vindictiveness and invasion of privacy is deeply unsettling and speaks volumes about her character. Fortunately, your boss took swift and decisive action to address the situation, ensuring a safe and respectful work environment for everyone. The evidence against Karen was clear, making the decision to terminate her employment straightforward and legally sound. As for Karen's explanation to her husband, it's likely that she spun a false narrative to deflect blame from herself. Blaming her termination on a coworker's dislike for her dog is a feeble attempt to avoid accountability for her own misconduct. In hindsight, Karen's lack of prior employment history may be indicative of deeper issues beyond her financial woes. Her inability to work well with others and her disturbing behavior suggest underlying personality flaws that would make her a liability in any workplace. Singling out Mr. Bach's children is particularly disturbing. It wouldn't surprise me if Karen couldn't have children and is therefore envious of Mr. Bach, taking Mr. Bach's comments about dogs as an insult to her fur babies. I wouldn't want to be around an obsessive nutjob like that, let alone work with one. I recently had a conversation with my daughter, Anna, that has left me questioning my actions. Anna, who is now 20, expressed some unresolved feelings from her childhood. During Anna's upbringing, I was not the present father I should have been. My relationship with her mother, my ex-wife, was tumultuous, and the constant conflict made it challenging for me to be there for Anna in the way she needed and deserved. I acknowledge my shortcomings and regret not being more involved during those formative years. Presently, I am remarried to a wonderful woman who has a daughter from a previous relationship. Although not biologically mine, I love her as my own, and we have built a loving and supportive family together. I have consciously tried to be the best father figure I can be to her. Anna confronted me about my absence during her childhood, expressing feeling neglected and unimportant to me. She conveyed her wish that I had fought harder to be in her life, and how my lack of effort has deeply hurt her. Her words stung, but I understood they stemmed from her pain. In response, I explained to Anna that it wasn't solely my fault. I shared with her the challenges I faced in maintaining a relationship with her mother and how it impacted my ability to be present for her. I also emphasized my deep regret for the pain I caused her. However, Anna remained unsatisfied with my explanation. She accused me of not caring enough to overcome the obstacles and fight for her. While I understood her perspective, I felt she overlooked the situation's complexity. I expressed to Anna my desire to move past the past and focus on building a better relationship with her in the present. I apologized for my past mistakes and reassured her of my commitment to making amends. However, she seemed fixated on the past, unwilling to let go of her hurt and resentment towards me. Am I wrong for wanting my daughter to move on from the past and focus on the present? I'm deeply invested in repairing the fractured bond with Anna, my daughter, yet I fear she may be ensnared in a cycle of anguish and reproach. It's a harsh truth, but as her parent, I must acknowledge that my failure to assertively pursue access to her and be a consistent presence in her life rests solely on my shoulders. Rather than acknowledging and empathizing with the pain and distress I caused her, I seem to be inclined to brush aside her sentiments a tendency that reflects no significant progress from my past conduct. You pose a thought-provoking question: what indeed did I accomplish adequately? It appears that my efforts to advocate for Anna's well-being and establish a robust relationship with her fell short, as I acquiesced to the dictates of her mother without putting up a fight. Furthermore, my subsequent involvement in another relationship, wherein I readily embraced and nurtured a stepchild, may inadvertently reinforce to Anna that I possess the capacity to prioritize and invest in familial bonds when I so choose. This recurrent pattern suggests a propensity to write off individuals who don't conform to my expectations of an effortless relationship. While I express a desire for Anna to forge a new connection with me, I appear reluctant to confront the complexities of our shared past. Paradoxically, if forced to confront these past transgressions, I seem disinclined to envision a future that necessitates contending with reminders of past failings and the associated complications. It's imperative that I acknowledge and accept full responsibility for my actions, relinquishing any inclination to downplay or minimize my role in the rupture of our relationship. Only by doing so can I hope to bridge the divide and foster a genuine, enduring connection with my daughter. On a separate note, I, a 28-year-old woman, found love in my fiancé, a 28-year-old man, during our college years, and our relationship has flourished ever since. Our engagement last year marked the beginning of our journey toward marriage, a journey we eagerly anticipate as we prepare for our wedding this fall. I'm deeply committed to repairing the strained relationship with Anna, my daughter. However, I worry that she may be trapped in a cycle of hurt and blame. It's a tough realization, but as her parent, I must accept that my failure to actively pursue a connection with her and consistently be present in her life is entirely my responsibility. Instead of acknowledging and empathizing with the pain I caused her, I've been inclined to dismiss her feelings, showing little progress from my past behavior. Your question prompts reflection. What have I truly achieved? It seems my efforts to prioritize Anna's well-being and cultivate a strong relationship with her fell short as I yielded to her mother's demands without resistance. Moreover, my subsequent involvement in a new relationship, where I embraced and cared for a stepchild, may inadvertently reinforce to Anna that I can prioritize and invest in family bonds when it suits me. This recurring pattern suggests a tendency to dismiss individuals who don't meet my expectations of an effortless relationship. While I express a desire for Anna to rebuild our connection, I appear hesitant to confront the complexities of our shared history. Ironically, if confronted with past mistakes, I seem reluctant to imagine a future that requires facing reminders of previous failures and their associated challenges. It's crucial that I fully acknowledge and take responsibility for my actions, without downplaying or minimizing my role in the breakdown of our relationship. Only by doing so can I hope to bridge the gap and cultivate a genuine and lasting bond with my daughter. On a different note, my journey with my fiancé, which began during our college years, has been filled with love and growth. Our engagement last year marked the start of our path towards marriage, a journey we eagerly anticipate as we prepare for our wedding this fall. "I'm the one marrying your son, not you," she calmly asserted before swiftly collecting her bag and leaving the room. Since then, she's maintained a steadfast silence, although her efforts to sway her son's decision persist. Despite her endeavors, it's clear that he remains resolute in his stance, adamant about receiving an apology from me. While my future husband and the rest of the family are supportive and don't perceive any fault in my actions, I can't help but ponder the necessity of my response. Was it truly indispensable to express my frustrations in that moment, or would a composed demeanor have served me better? My emotions were raw, and I felt compelled to convey my sentiments honestly. Yet, in hindsight, I wonder if a more measured approach would have yielded different results. Nevertheless, I stand by my actions. Confronting her behavior was necessary to set boundaries and ensure a drama-free future. This incident serves as a testament to the importance of asserting oneself in the face of adversity, and my fiancé's unwavering support underscores the strength of our relationship. Reflecting on past experiences, I realize that addressing issues head-on often leads to resolution and closure. It's regrettable that I didn't confront her behavior sooner, but I take solace in knowing that my actions have put an end to her disruptive antics. Moving forward, it's crucial to maintain vigilance. While she may attempt to reconcile or modify her behavior temporarily, it's essential to remain steadfast in our decision to exclude her from the wedding. Implementing security measures and safeguarding our wedding plans will ensure that her influence remains minimal. The well-being and harmony of our family unit take precedence. By standing firm in our decision and prioritizing our happiness, we assert control over our own narrative and create a future free from unnecessary drama and strife. On a separate note, our upcoming vacation presents an opportunity for rest and relaxation. As we prepare for the journey ahead, I'm grateful for the comfort afforded by my airline membership, which provides access to premium amenities, easing the discomfort caused by my recent back injury. As we embark on this adventure together, I look forward to creating lasting memories with cherished friends, basking in the joys of camaraderie and shared experiences. The situation poses a dilemma as one couple in our friend circle holds a different membership level, requiring them to sit separately. The boyfriend in the couple proposes a seat-swapping arrangement to ensure they can sit together on either the departure or return flights. While everyone has consented to this plan, I question whether it's equitable for me to relinquish my premium seat, especially considering my back condition. Would I be the one at fault if I refuse the seat swap in this scenario? It seems fair to maintain your premium seat. The couple eager to sit together can find a solution without imposing on others. If everyone else is amenable to the plan, your involvement seems unnecessary. Perhaps two other individuals with premium seats could accommodate their request, leaving you out of the equation. However, don't be surprised if those who agreed to the arrangement backtrack when their premium seats are at stake. Don't let them pressure you. It's absurd to expect others to sacrifice their comfort for their desire to sit together. If their dependency on being seated next to each other is that strong, they should consider paying to upgrade their tickets. Demanding others to accommodate their preferences while disregarding their well-being is selfish. It's crucial to stand firm and not allow others to take advantage of the situation for their convenience at the expense of others.